Okay, it's Tuesday, January 6th, about 4:30. The markets are closed, and George and I are getting together to kind of discuss how things went today. How you doing, George?
Good, man. How was your day?
Not too bad. I got a little chopped up early, and um what happened was I didn't get to trade till about 10:30, and I bought into the market a little too late. I was kind of chasing things, and yeah, it
Oh,
dropped.
yeah.
So the
Oh,
beauty,
yeah. 10:30. We were, peeking out. Oh, man.
yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, I had small stops, and the beautiful thing was you had a decision point down there, a couple bars to the right, little green arrow.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
kind of watched what it did there for a while and took it up from there and made everything back. So small green
Oh,
day,
good.
I'm happy. I got those first two
Yeah.
targets again the second time. So
Yeah. We had, I think it was Ryan today. He was laying out for me. I don't know if you were in the room or not and listened to him, but he was laying out for me exactly what he did. He got in killer trade. Like he got in way down here at 40, right where we had the initial decision point that we had posted in the pre market. So good for him. He had one contract and he made like 12 points. And then he comes on and he starts asking, he says, "Hey, man, what could I have done better?" I was like, let me get this straight.
it's a good
You
trade.
got in right down here. You got out at the 3 a.m. bar right before it tanked again. I'm
Perfect.
like, yeah. I sent him the applaud and everything. I was like, hey, this is great, man. Like one contract, like 12 points, killer. So good for Ryan, man. So shout out to you, Ryan, if you ever hear or listen to this little episode. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can just, for those listening, we're just trying to go like off the cuff here and just discuss really what happened today. What did we call out? What went well? What didn't go well? Things that were kind of like not necessarily predicted or predictable. So yeah, so real basic, just to cover the 1,000-foot view, if you will. So we had talked about this level. I'm just kind of scrolling the ES here for everybody. We've been talking about this level down here, 39.5 for days. And I can just scroll and scroll and scroll. So we were talking about it back here and mentioning how important it was for the market to, get up above and sustain that level. And if you look at the overnight session, just that's what it did, and just kind of kept bouncing, kept bouncing, kept bouncing. It did eventually touch our big picture has to hold. So like this is important, like wildly important, but like they had to stay above 32 to really not break anything. So in the overnight we got that touch, which was nice. It was great that it did it in the wee hours of the morning because I didn't have to deal with it. Explain it to anybody this morning. Like, man, just get above 39 and stay above there. That'd be great. And it did. So that was nice. So yeah, it took us straight to target one of this first scenario. And it's a big scenario, guys. Like it's still running. It's still not technically over. That scenario doesn't end until 7,004. So that's the current projection that we're still kind of sitting inside of. But yeah, took that from here to the first target. And then obviously we got our little collapse and we had to kind of regroup a little bit and discuss like what was really important to the market at that moment. Identified that 58.5 was really that important section that was of the utmost. If we're like, again, it needed to stay not so much above here, like ultimately just has to stay above here, but it just, it didn't look like it was going to go down much further. So anyhow, it consolidated for a bit. And then we did finally get to target number 2 up here. And now here we are, just kind of again consolidating around target number 2. And so all this stuff was called out. When did we call this out, Bob? Yesterday? Let me scroll back. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We called out the day before, but I just mentioned that it was probably not a for today trade, referencing today being yesterday, the 5th. I was like, it may not get there today, but it's still going to be relevant so long as this guy down here ultimately behaves and maintains. So, yeah, NQ, it almost had an identical, like a mirror image in the picture of how things were working. We had a support level we'd posted in the pre-market down here around 8:20 in the morning. I got that test just before we signed in. And then for those who missed it, do you remember what number I gave on the NQ, Bob?
I do not.
I think it was 618. Yeah, here it is. So 618 was kind of like, for those of you who were not awake and you couldn't make it here, if again, this thing had already run up in the 930 section, I was like, if the market graces us with that 618, that's going to be your next opportunity if you miss the pre-market support level. And voila, classic, right? Here we go. The market overshoots these things by 10 points on the regular. I just need to incorporate this, man. I need to just make that like the new trade. Like whatever the actual level is, just go 10 points lower or 10 points higher. I mean, how many times have we been saying this? Like, it's just hysterical. But either way. But yeah, it literally mirror image, right? Like it got above its next support level we'd posted. And yeah, target 1, 2. Eventually, it got the same dip, same thing happened, and we just kept reiterating like this kind of caught us, I think, a little off guard. I'd mentioned in the room that 635, we got to what, 639? Like there was an outside chance that we could still get to 635 and still keep everybody okay. So long as we recover above here, which was, I think, 674. So recover above 674 and we're going to be all right. We'll still go. And they gave us additional targets to shoot for. And sure enough, there we are. I think we hit everything. Oh, yeah, we did. We got it all, man.
Yep.
All the way to the rubber band. Boom. So that's how I went for the day. You said you got 10:30.
Yeah, I had day job responsibilities till about then, and I knew I was chasing, which is why I only went in with 1 micro, so damage wasn't too bad.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I was just a little bummed that they took it all out, but I mean, God, how many times do we tell people don't chase, right? Like, don't feel like you missed the trade.
Yeah, luckily it was only in 2 of my 20 accounts, so that was good too.
Well, that's good. Yep. That's good.
Connection.
That was today, though. Like there really isn't much else to say because it fortunately did kind of hold to some good logic today, which was nice. Right. I appreciate that. Yeah, and we had a lot of good commentary today in the room, which was great.
Yeah, it's always good when everybody's interacting and giving us feedback because that's really changed. I think the way your style has evolved since we started this. And it's all based on what works for the guys and how they need to hear things. So,
yeah, God, I remember those earlier days, right? We were sitting there just like talking, and I'm just telling people stuff, and I'm like, I said it. And they're like, but I don't remember it. Like, okay, like, well, dang it, we got to do something.
Yep.
And yeah, I started doing the bubbles and the has to holds and the hurdles, and yeah, it's been really good.
And hopefully, hopefully people are watching the course. I think that's going to be helpful as well.
Yep. And then for the rest of you folks, it doesn't matter what you use. And I've said this to a handful of other people who aren't even necessarily in our room. But for anybody who trades any style whatsoever, and you've got your own approach as to how you get into the market, so entry is obviously pretty key. Our chart cast at least shows people that you want to subscribe to it. They show them where the targets. So it's always potential, right? Where's the potential of the move? And you'll see this day in and day out that we get to targets most days. There's how many do you think, Bob? 1 out of every 2, maybe 2 out of every month that the market doesn't go to the targets. Yeah,
I think that's a good estimate. Of course, that's just an estimate, but yeah,
it is. Yeah, I'm just spitballing. I'm sitting there thinking back. I'm like, because I can remember, like, we've had days where we literally get stuck between like the upside hurdle and the downside has to hold, or vice versa. And then it's like they just didn't go to target. They didn't go anywhere. That's always that sideways consolidation day. I wish we could predict those ahead of time.
Right.
Like today is going to be literally nothing but a consolidation sideways day.
I know you can't see it, but I'm going to bring up on the screen this new strategy module we got called the Wave Splitter. So,
Wave splitter.
yeah, basically the idea is you run it on two different charts, two different accounts, and right at 9:30, one goes long, one goes short. And on the
Oh, funny.
yeah, on the Apex accounts, that's actually not in the rules that you can't do that in an eval. And I know at least 5 people that have done that before I built this. They were doing it manually. So as long as it's not in the rules, then I would take advantage. But today the long, of course, it took off. The long hit and the short lost. But on a 50K accounts in all of December, which is kind of bad price action in the beginning, but it had an 85% win rate. So I think there was only 3 days it lost and like 15 days that it won. So if you'd have just done,
So what would that have to do? Like both of them would have to lose somehow?
yeah, it happens every once in a while. Those 3 days where, let's say, it took off long, but it didn't quite make it to the profit target, but
And then it flipped on you.
it had already blown the short, and then it went down and blew the long. So that does happen. Like I said, 1 or 2 times out of 10. But when those
But you're using it just for evals.
just for evals,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to do that in a real cash account. The CME will kill you for that. But yeah, this is just for evals. Just the whole point is just to pass them. And when they're as cheap as they have been, it's it's not terrible to just do them. I know Randy passed a couple using it, and he's been testing it for me. And I think
Oh, interesting.
Paige tested it today. He said, "I've never passed an eval so fast." I'm like, well, and my advice to people is make sure you can trade first before you do that, because if you're just doing this to pass the eval, the reason the Apex doesn't,
Right.
the reason they don't care is because you're going to pay them the $100 to activate
Right.
the PA account, so they're getting their money on the front end. If you're
Well, they're
using
getting it twice. They're getting it once for the eval,
Right.
and they're like, I don't care if you pass or lose.
right, so
And then they're getting it again when you do the PA. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so if you're using this to pass, but you don't really have a trading strategy yet, or you're not in the room,
Right.
it's just going to waste your money in the long term. So although yes, it will work. If you don't,
You can just go out and buy me a hamburger every day if you're going to do that.
right, exactly.
I'll at least somebody in the world will be benefiting.
Right. So that's my only caveat with that, but it does seem to work. So for those of you that can try it, I can't try it. I have too many accounts. You're only allowed to have 20 with Apex, and I have I think I have 5 or 6 extra ones I pay for every month just sitting on the bench just in case I blow something up. But I'm knocking on wood. I don't need those.
Yeah, I just saw today they actually extended the promo they're doing for like another few days.
Yeah, the PA fee. I like when they do that because you can buy the accounts today up until midnight, but they go back to close to regular price tomorrow. But when you can buy them and you have to get the PA fee today, that just encourages gambling, and people are just. So I think they finally realized, let's let people buy accounts up till Tuesday and give them the rest of the week to actually pass them responsibly. So I like when they do that. I think it's through Sunday night you have to pay the PA fee that's a lot lower. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy any more
The
cheap
last thing
accounts, you have to do them today before midnight, and then the PA fee is cheap until Sunday night.
Nice.
I'll let you close it out.
Yeah. So the last thing I was just going to point out was, and I don't know if this, you tell me, has this been helpful or not? I know I just kind of started doing this for folks, this like block. Trying to give people like this perspective of buy low, sell high. Like if this is the range that we're expecting of the day, or at least of the move, I don't know. What's your thoughts on this?
So I'll tell you, after I got burnt at 10:30ish, and I kind of took my hand off the mouse because I wasn't, I didn't want to revenge trade. Looking at that range over there, once I started getting below 50%, I'm like, okay, I'm at least not chasing because I'm in a discount now. So that part is helpful. If you're buying in and you're still in the top like 30% of that box,
Yeah.
probably not a good idea. Like if you were to buy into that box right now, can it go to that last rubber band? Sure, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will.
Yeah. I mean, God, how often do we say it, right? Like market doesn't go in a straight line. So I'd much rather get the discount versus Yeah, waiting for. I don't know, man. It's too much confirmation. I think by some folks, it's like you can. I don't know. I'd rather take 10 points of risk down here than 10 points of risk up here, and then have to go 30 points against you.
Right.
Anyhow, it's just my thinking. Do what you want. Uh, yeah. So the other thing we had, oh, this one got me on the NQ. It was okay because it went up 20 points first. We had that minor has to hold right around 1045, 1050. That one wasn't too bad. I didn't lose any money on it, so that was good. Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, what do you think? We'll just kind of try to do these little videos each day at the end of market close and just explain to people what was and what wasn't. Some days are going to look good like this, in my opinion. Other days are going to look like, oop, missed that.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Didn't get that one.
And for people that aren't in the room yet, this gives you a little insight into what's going on there and how George is calling levels and everything out. So
Are we gonna just make the videos for people like available for free?
yeah, I think I'm just going to post these to the YouTube channel. Once we get our stride down, I'll just go ahead and live stream.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
I was just thinking like the training videos, even the ones about like has to holes and hurl and so forth.
yeah, the course is free. Anybody can log in to get that.
Cool. Yeah, I don't see why not. Like, at least you understand before you get there. Like, what am I thinking about? What am I considering?
Right. And if somebody's subscribing to just Chartcast because they can't be in the room, they absolutely need to go through that course.
Right. Yeah, you have to have it. My goodness.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, George, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Cool, man.
Good night.
Talk to you tomorrow.